Ladies and gentlemen, whoa, Nelly, dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with that finish? You've got to be absolutely kidding me. I cannot believe what just happened. I mean, the Eagles had that thing pretty much wrapped up. I mean, the fans were booing them for an injury timeout. They were booing them for not, doing whatever. But holy smokes, look at this, dude. Look at this. Falcons win 22-21 on a what was that? Like a 70-yard drive by Kirk Cousins. The Falcons hadn't thrown the ball at all. They didn't throw the ball at all night. Kirk Cousins goes absolutely nuclear. Last game, everybody's like, Kirk Cousins is done. 95% of this game, Kirk Cousins is done. What's he do? He goes out there and goes, what did he do? He went out there and went 20 of 29 for 241 and 2. Holy moly. He made that throw to Drake London, a couple of big throws there. I would imagine, here's my hot take for the Kirk Cousins thing. I mean, I'm watching the replay over here, the highlights and all that stuff. Saquon dropping that ball. We're gonna get to all that, but holy cow, Kirk Cousins, um, just I would imagine that him not having to think about his ankle and his Achilles on that last drive, it was just an absolute, we don't have time to worry about anything else but throw the football. I bet you that is exactly what happened. So, look at that, dude. Falcons trolling the Eagles already. City of brotherly dub. Like, Eagles fans posted stuff. Holy moly. Falcons fans, this is just outrageous here. Jesse Bates, the safety, gets the pick. I mean, now the Falcons are 1-1, the Eagles are 1-1, and that means the Commanders are tied for the division lead. Look at that. Look at that, Jaden Daniels. But anyways, this was what a comeback from Kirk Cousins out of absolutely nowhere. Now, that throw that Kirk Cousins made at the end there, that throw Jalen Hurts missed earlier in the game, by the way. So, that was pretty much a dud the entire game. It was like, this is kind of boring. It was what? It ended up being, I think the over-under was 46.5, and it ended up getting to, what, 43? So, another primetime under. Shout out us, the fans. But the kickers were on point, of course. It was a primetime game, but, man, is Saquon Barkley allergic to that pylon down there? They gotta be kicking themselves. So, uh but anyways, this whole thing with CJ Gardner-Johnson too, when he pulled his helmet off, basically. So, here's the play.
Is just 1 yard short.
But anyways, so it's what, 4th and 1, back in their own territory. Boom. Pops him in the hole. I mean, that was a beautiful play. I mean, that was late in the 4th. I mean, the Eagles went on a freaking, what was it? I got a whole notepad here. This in no order whatsoever. So if you're expecting some sort of ridiculous brushed up, I mean, I was watching the game just like everybody else, writing stuff down on my notepad here, just taking notes. But yeah, this GJ thing, absolutely ridiculous. Pops him, gets up. The whole thing is he didn't take his helmet off, but we caught a video that apparently the rule is if the helmet's coming off during contact, but he definitely threw that thing off. So tush push is back. So, but anyways, let's try to get some order to this. But what a game. What a game. I mean, last night's was a snoozer between the Bears and the Texans, but oh well. So let me pull this down right here. I'm just trying to get upbeat. I want to see, like, our Phillies. We want to see the Philly fans, dude. You've got one of my good friends, a Phillies fan. You got to be mad if you're a Phillies fan. But wow, Falcons win. That was nuts, people. That was absolutely nuts. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Let's just go over the stats. But wow. I mean, first of all, the pregame stuff, right? So we're gonna pull up the stats. We've got the pregame here. I just want to get to a few. So yeah, Falcons win. Holy smokes. That was ridiculous. The pregame stuff. Before the game even started, there was a pretty big injury. One of the Philly, one of the Philly fanatics, one of the super fans, I guess you would call him, guy who's got like belly button tattoos or whatever. He lines up with Jason Kelce on the stage to do a chest bump, and when he comes down, blows his knee out. I'm pretty sure he tore his ACL. We got to get. We need an injury report update on belly button Eagles fan guy. Somebody get on that wherever you're at. Um, and then we had Kelce, who apparently had security. Anybody else see that? He had security. So I thought that was kind of weird that he would have security walking through the crowd. Maybe that's just me. Somebody explain it to me that knows more about security than I. I don't claim to be a security expert. I have worked security in college as a bouncer, but I don't think I was very good at it. Um, but yeah, and then the Jalen Brunson thing, New York Knicks superstar, team friendly deal. Shout out Jalen Brunson. Goes down onto the field, and I had no idea that guy was a Philly fan, but yes, he is from Nova. So good for him, I guess, for staying true to his colors. That's probably going to get him a lot of flack in New York, I would imagine. Jalen Brunson. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. So that was pretty much all the pregame stuff, and I think they're doing their best to soft launch the Jason Kelce broadcasting thing, but he does. I don't know if he has a voice for it. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm another guy with a microphone who's nowhere near as successful as Jason Kelce, but does he have the voice for it? Sometimes he gets a little marble mouthy, so he's got to clean that up. He's got to get more. He didn't want to have the high pitched squeaky laugh like Tom Brady. But anyways, pregame stuff. We got a nice shot of Big Dom at half. He made sure that he snuck in the camera there at the halftime. So I think we can find a picture of that. We got Big Dom down there on the sideline, snuck in behind Sirianni at half. Uh, but he was looking. So I know Kelce saw him. But anyways, so we had that going on. I wrote down a whole bunch of notes about Kirk Cousins being broken. Because at the end, well, let's go chronologically. Let's start with that first drive, um, by the Eagles, which ultimately may have cost them the game. Correct. So the Eagles got down into the red zone on the fourth quarter in the first quarter, and on that particular drive, Saquon Barkley, I believe, was averaging 9.8 yards a carry on that drive. I'm pretty certain. What is going on here? Get out of here. But he was averaging from Warren Sharp. He said he was averaging 9.8 yards per carry on the drive with the offense going down the field on that first. I mean, it's the first one where they went down there and they got down into the red zone and then lost it on fourth down. And so they got to the Falcons 15 with Saquon leading the way, and they take Saquon out. They put Gainwell in. He runs for 4 yards. Gainwell on second down runs for 2 yards. Third down was an incomplete pass to the rookie Wilson, and fourth down was an incomplete pass to Dallas Goedert. So that was a pretty telling sign of where you're going with that. So, I mean, people are going to be calling back. That'll be one where the sports shows get it and they'll go, at that point, do you have to take the points? Da 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 da. I mean, if you get it there, you're a genius. If you don't, then everybody's going to look at that play tomorrow, and everybody will be asking the question, "Were you wrong to do that?" So, but in my opinion, they made the right call. But also, in my opinion, you have to have Saquon on the field in that particular time. Uh, so, but I swear, um, the Falcons offense is really weird. Like they were under center, I think, almost 50% of the plays. You're not going to see it on this stat sheet, but before the first half, they were under center, and Kirk Cousins looked like he was straddling a mechanical bull when he would come out of the from under center to try to hand the ball off. Like, he was waddling like he got chafed, and he needed a whole bunch of gold bond like that offensive lineman from Wisconsin. Um, but they got back up under center, um, and they basically just fed Bijan Robinson, which was awesome because Bijan is a lot of fun to watch. I mean, it was kind of a game where the running backs were getting most of the work. There just wasn't a lot of big plays happening. But I thought Kirk Cousins was broken at the end of the half. I was just like, he's got no zip on the ball. He's not stepping into his throws. His footwork's off. He's leaving balls short. He's lollipopping the ball. It reminded me of Peyton Manning at the end of his career, the same number 18. Number 18 with the goofy face mask and the bulbous helmet, fluttering balls through the Philly night sky. And then at the end of the half, whenever they had a chance to go down and score, Kirk Cousins missed 3 wide open receivers, and there was videos all over the place. The dude's just running wide open on that 3rd and goal, but they settled for the field goal. Um, and the whole I mean, you gotta ask yourself, I mean, if you're a Philly fan with Jalen Hurts, he looked off too. I don't know what it is with all these quarterbacks, but they look off. I've got my own opinions on that about where it's become too much of a scrambling league and everybody just kind of runs around now and tries to find the open person. But Jalen Hurts was 23 of 30. You can see right there for 183, a touchdown and interception there late. But he was, I mean, I don't know what he ran for, but he had a pretty good game running too. Jalen Hurts did. So, yeah, I mean, he ran for 85 yards and a touchdown. So he had one through the air, one on the ground, and that one drive where they scored their first touchdown. I think he had the most. Before they had the pass to Devontae Smith, I think he had like 50 rushing yards on that drive. So, but he made a throw, the touchdown to that got batted out of Devontae Smith's hands by Jesse Bates. That ball was late. It was late and it was inside, and you could tell by his footwork, he did not, if you go back and watch it, he did the old swinging gate leg where he kind of didn't step into the throw and tried to arm it out there. If he puts that ball to the pylon, that thing's a touchdown. Now, later in the game, Saquon drops that ball, and I'm telling you right now, Saquon not scoring that touchdown hurt a lot of people in fantasy. Hurt a lot of people in fantasy football. But but yeah, that touchdown to Devontae's, it seems like the Eagles were on the doorstep and they just could not get any red zone efficiency. I mean, they had Devontae Smith score, and then Jalen Hurts had the tush push or whatever you want to call it. Um, but yeah, so I mean, and I guess Jake Elliott had a few field goals, but it just looked like the Eagles every time they'd get in the red zone, they just kind of fell apart. It was really weird. And none of these defenses on this in this game were really applying a lot of pressure. They don't blitz a lot. I mean, that was evident on the last drive for the Eagles. They were trying to they could not get home on the last drive. I mean, they were probably tired because it was a hurry up offense. So you didn't really have the chance to run personnel in and out of the game, but they were playing a too high safety look with the safeties like 30 yards off the ball. And Kirk Cousins was just taking what they were giving him. But anyways, yeah, the Eagles kind of fluttered there I mean, in the red zone multiple times where Devontae Smith dropped that ball, which was late by Jalen Hurts, where Saquon drops a ball uh, to get the first down late. I mean, that was just what a game. But you look at the stat line here. I mean, Saquon 22 for 95, Jalen Hurts 13 for 85. They pretty much stopped the whole Gainwell thing after that, after they got stoned in the red zone on that drive I was talking about. But AJ Brown was out, and I mean, I think that definitely changed the way. I was telling one of my friends who's an Eagles fan, I was like, dude, they just seem like something's off with the Eagles tonight. And I guess he said it's the physicality that AJ Brown brings. And I was like, I could see that. But I mean, Devontae Smith had a pretty good game. I mean, I don't it was a fairly evenly matched game. I don't think one team was outplaying the other, and there wasn't any big plays happening or anything other than the Darnell Mooney play. But I think he had a long touchdown. So But yeah, it was just really weird. That was just a weird game that ended spectacularly. So you look at the Falcons, Kirk Cousins, we already said it, 20, I mean, super efficient, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns. I would say 70 yards of that came on the last drive where I'm pretty sure he didn't throw an incomplete pass. Don't check me on that. But Bijan, great game, no touchdowns. Darnell Mooney, the leading receiver with a touchdown. Drake London had a touchdown. Like Ray McLeod continues. He ripped out, or he got his mouthpiece ripped out, I think, by CJ GJ, and then punched him in the face. Like, I don't think Ray McLeod can be afforded to punch people in the face. Always cracks me up when they punch somebody with a helmet on. But I mean, he spread the ball around. He had 6 different receivers with a reception. So Jesse Bates was all over the place for Atlanta. I completely forgot Matthew Judon was was uh was on the Falcons. Whenever I saw his name with the red sleeves, I was like, "Holy cow, I forgot they traded for him." Um, but I'll I'll tell you what though. That drive by the Eagles to go up 18-15 when they got the ball in the third quarter, they went 17 plays, 70 yards, 9 minutes and 30 seconds, touchdown. That was the drive that Saquon got stopped on the half-yard line because his knee was down. And then he dropped a pass at that same pylon. I mean, I think Saquon's gotta have a meeting with that pylon right there and just say, "Hey, look, I need you, you need me, all the fantasy football managers need me to score that touchdown. We gotta get this goal line pylon situation figured out." But clearly the biggest play of the game prior to the drive, which is gonna be if the Falcons make the Super Bowl, that'll be on their 30 for 30 for sure. Um, but uh the play of the game was that CJ Gardner Johnson on fourth. That was just, if you played football, that was a football play right there. That was just 2 dudes meeting in the hole, bring you back to middle school or high school where they line up the tackling dummies, and it's Oklahoma, you versus me, let's get it. So, but I mean, from a team perspective here, I mean, this game was fairly even all the way through. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they both averaged similarly per play. They both had about the same total yards. They got it different ways. Um, they both had about the same first downs. Philly was way better on third down efficiency. Around the same fourth down. Total plays, Philly had more. Only 1 sack allowed. Again, there was no pressure. Like, it seemed like they had all day to throw if they wanted it to. There you go. Kirk Cousins in the second half was 13 of 16 for 166, 10.4 yards per attempt and 2 touchdowns. That's in the second half. So, did his Achilles finally get better in the second half? Can we say that? People are asking. I mean, how mad are the Philly fans gonna be? Philly had a lot of penalties, though. They had 9 penalties to Atlanta's 3. Only 1 turnover, that was late. Like, again, you just watch this game, and it's just, like, very back and forth, very we're not trying to lose, and then all of a sudden, Atlanta figures out they can throw it, and I don't know if that was a Fangio thing or what, but anyways, time of possession, 35-39 to 24-21, in favor of the Eagles, so it was, yeah, it was a fun game to watch, I'll tell you that, but, I just I just go back to, like, the 3 major plays were Saquon obviously not catching that ball, um, the big hit by CJ Gardner Johnson, which was just a great football play, and the fourth down in the first quarter where the Eagles went for it and didn't get it. So, that's just my thought. I think the questions for the Eagles coming out of this are, that's 179 passing yards. Are you satisfied with the way, if you're an Eagles fan, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I'm a 49ers fan. So, I'm just asking the question for Eagles, are you satisfied with the way the play calling is and the way that Jalen Hurts is playing? because it seems to me, watching, that the best thing you can do is give the ball to your star running back, Saquon Barkley. That's just me. I think he is clearly the best player. Well, AJ Brown make a case. I don't know. But I just felt like they were a little bit off. But that's just me. So, anyways, I don't really have too much to say other than that. I just thought there were some funny tidbits there. I think Sirianni, whenever he gets a chance to show his emotion, he 100% does that. With whether it be he's screaming after a touchdown, or he runs down the sideline to dap up CJ Gardner-Johnson. He's always going to get that opportunity. I don't blame him. Hell, I mean, it's football. Go down there and celebrate with your boys. But I think for the Falcons, the question is, did Kirk Cousins' Achilles finally heal in the second half? Because from the looks of those numbers, that's what it looked like. But I would say half of those pass attempts that he had in the second half were from the last drive. But I think both of these, I don't know. I think the Falcons' defensive backfield is pretty good. Again, they don't generate a lot of pressure. But if you're the Eagles, that's a tough one. They get the Saints next weekend, I think. So you're talking about playing the Saints, who have scored on 17 out of 17 of their offensive drives. So if you're the Eagles, I don't know if it's in New Orleans or if it's in Philly, but you thought this offense had some playmakers. You go down there and face that buzzsaw, where they're averaging 40 points a game. I mean, you better be able to put up some points too. I think that's the thing about the Eagles is we saw them score a lot of points against the Packers. So I don't know. Does AJ Brown make that much of a difference for this team? But I don't know. Entertaining game, big game for the NFC. I think now there's only four NFC teams now that are undefeated. The Bucks. Who was it? It was the Bucks, the Saints, the Seahawks are undefeated, and the Vikings. So Philly had a chance to be the fifth NFC team to go 2-0, but you're left with the Bucks, the Vikings, Seahawks, Saints. So those would be, I believe, your top 4 seeds right now if the playoffs started today. So, but anyways, I think that's everything I have. I just wanted to get on here and just see if anybody else had anything else to say. Because we got to give out an award to the goat chain play of the game. Was obviously you could have two qualifications. It would be the hit by CJ Gardner-Johnson, just because that gave you chills, or you could go with the Kirk Cousins. You could say the final drive, essentially, or the throw to Drake London. So, but anyways, that's it for tonight. Quick show. We'll be back on Wednesday. Hold on, let me pull this up. Let me get this out of here. Let's pull this up down here. We'll be back on Wednesday for our full show. So we're gonna break down week 3, look at some college football, and laugh a little bit, folks. I mean, we do this. All of us do it. All of us do it twice a week, but sometimes I'll get on here and recap the Thursday night game, recap the Monday night game, and then do a little pick 'em on Saturday. Butch and I will do that. But if you want to follow us, usually it's not, if you're new, it's not just me. It's me and Butch P and J-Vi and Tex and Dylon at times. Our podcast is available every Monday and Thursday. We just released an episode today. Go check it out, where we recap the weekend. Our live shows are Wednesdays and Sundays with the whole crew together Here's all of our socials, the Millie Goats, Rumble, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, pretty much everywhere. You can find your podcast too. So if you do subscribe to the podcast or listen to the podcast, ratings and reviews are the best for us. We really appreciate those, and it's free. So anytime you want to throw one of those our way, that'd be grateful or greatly appreciated. So, um, but anyways, like I said, Wednesday night we'll be back with our full show, and then we'll do a Thursday night recap, and then we'll do another Saturday night pick'ems thing, where we're in a contest. And we're not. Look, believe me, we are not. People listen to our show. We're just a collection of dudes who played college football together, and we talk trash about each other's teams and other teams. We do not claim to be experts. We love to never give anybody else's team credit but our own. And that's how we operate with the locker room vibe. So if you're watching this and you like the locker room football banter, then you might like our show because we just wanted to feel like you're hanging out with us. That's basically what it's all about. But yeah, Wednesday night, we'll be back 9:30. Those podcasts come out Monday and Thursdays, and then we'll be back Thursday night, Saturday night for a special short show, and then Sunday night again. Thanks everybody for tuning in. That's it for tonight. That was a fun game, and oh, to talk some more football. Thanks for tuning in.